Hi all, I'd like to make a little addition to a sweater. If you don't already have something like this in your sweater, you can add this to it, or you can do half of this Kangaroo Pocket on each side of a cardigan, like in a zip-up hoodie, that sort of thing. This is called a Kangaroo Pocket. I'm going to go top down. I'm going to start with a single crochet foundation row, and it doesn't have to be very long. I would say make the top of it like the width of your hand from across your knuckles. So whatever yarn you're using, whatever your gauge, it's not as important as making sure that you can fit your hand into the pocket. So you can make the pocket bigger or smaller depending on the size of your hand. So anyway, here is the top. Let's see how many stitches I ended up making. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Oh, 13. This one. All right. Lucky 13. So now I'm just going to do a single crochet under the first stitch, and I didn't chain and turn. I don't do that. So I'm going to do the knit stitch. And I'm going to start doing the knit stitch like right away. It's a little difficult because this tends to twist a little, this stitch. So you have to kind of force the yarn through the middle of that column. And then you just finish the single crochet. It's just a slightly different place where you're putting it through. And you know, some people, when they do the knit stitch, they don't start it right away. They'll do a row of regular single crochet and then do the knit stitch, but I'm starting it like immediately. I started it with creating the single crochet foundation row, and then I went directly into the knit stitch, which goes into the yarn column that you created. But yeah, you have to just kind of find a place to put it through because it's a little more twisted. It's not as uniform as a regular single crochet. So I hope you can see that. Just trying to find a place to put it in so that it resembles the knit stitch yarn out there. Okay. So do your best in getting your hook through the column, not going between them. And we're not using the tops of the stitches. I've kind of settled on one particular yarn for the most part when I'm going down this row so that it looks pretty similar. And you should try for that as well. You just pick one of the yarns in that column of the stitch in the post, and just try to keep shooting for that one every time. That way it looks pretty uniform. Oops, I lost the yarn there. Go back in there. Okay. And then the last one, just go under the stitch like a normal stitch. Just go underneath of that. So let me see how many stitches we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have the same amount. Perfect. So now we go around to this, we turn it like a book. And we go into the stitch that we just made, make a single crochet. And now this is a lot easier. You just go into the legs and under the purl of the stitch. And you just go right through it. This is a much more recognizable single crochet from the back side. You're just going right into the back of the post. Under the purl, between the legs, going all the way through to the other side, and try not to split the yarn. I have another video that goes into a little bit more detail on how to do the regular crochet knit stitch, if you're interested in learning a little bit about this and how it differs from the Tunisian knit stitch, which is another crochet technique that you can mimic what looks like knitting. But yeah, I'll link that in the description box below. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about knit looking stitches in crochet, I go into a little bit more detail. Okay, so I would take this to like the distance between your knuckles and like the top of your hand, so your thumb. So like it's going across your knuckles, right? And you want to get it down to about here. Okay, that's how deep I want that part of the pocket to be, between here and here. And the last one, sometimes it's hard to see where the last stitch is. So let's count our stitches. Okay, so don't forget this one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, it says we've got 13 stitches, so I guess we're done. I feel like we've added a stitch. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe we don't count that one. We won't count that one, because I really want to put a stitch in it out on the end here. See that? It looks like it needs it. Okay, and then we go into the top of the stitch here on the end, and then we go under the table, because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a little picnic table. If you've ever seen the sign for picnic tables at parks, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that. International symbol for picnic table. So keep doing this and I will meet you back. Okay, so I think we've made it to the size of a hand between the knuckles and the thumb. So we just do a chain stitch and then go back into that stitch like that. See? So what you did was you created a little step out and then you put a single crochet into that stitch. Now the next one, looks like you have like half of a table here. Half of just one leg and the purl. Okay. And then the next one. So let me show that again. So we made the last stitch. Let's do a chain to extend it out. You turn it and you go under those two, under the V. And I'm holding the bottom loop just to stabilize the stitch while I make it. And you do your first single crochet at the edge. And then right here was your edge stitch. Now that's your first table, where there's the purl and there's the leg, and you've got to go in between, basically under this one leg here and in between the stitches. See that? Right there, under there. Okay, pull that through. The next one is just a normal knit stitch. Now do your best and just find where you can get your hook through on that edge stitch. But what you've done is you've extended it out by one stitch. Okay, we'll get to the other side and we'll do the same exact thing. We will extend it, turn, and put a single crochet in the top of that stitch. And it's one of the few times that I will make a chain before turning, because I don't use turning chains. I think it just adds unnecessary bulk on the edges. And causes your stitches to kind of bow in and out. I don't like that on my edges. I like my edges to be a little less complicated and straighter. Okay, so the last regular knit stitch. Now we're going to go into the top of this. Actually, no. Let's count our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that makes 15. So we've got a lot of stitches, a lot of extra stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this one counts right here. This is the extra stitch. You see how it's sticking out? Not this one, this one. This is like all the infrastructure supporting that. So now we're going to do our extra chain. turn, go under those 2 bars, and there, have the extra stitch. Then we go into the legs of the edge, and then we continue to do knit stitches across. Now you're welcome to do this in any stitch you want. You can do it in double crochets, you can do it in single crochets. I'm just choosing the knit stitch because I am thinking ahead for a project that I'm working on that's done in the knit stitch. And I just thought, let me see if I can practice some pockets. And I've always wanted to make a like Baja hoodie. And those have the, like, you know, the typical kangaroo pocket. So this is just me practicing. Thinking ahead, maybe one day I'll make one of those hoodie sweatshirt type things. And I'll probably use a nice cotton yarn for that. They're usually done in a kind of a rag cotton. They're super durable. Kind of like, you know, cotton rugs, kitchen dishcloths. I mean, it's that kind of a, that's kind of a fabric. Okay, so here we're at this corner piece. I gotta get into that leg, down in the post, and now let's count our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This will be 17. That extra stitch. Time for post. Going into the post. So keep track of your stitches. You can put stitch markers on the ends if you want. You can keep counting each row like I'm doing and just adding 1 stitch on each end. So that'll be 2 more each row until you get it wide enough that you can fit your hand into the curved part. So this curved part is actually supposed to be the width of your knuckles as well, from here to here, from this knuckle to that knuckle. So when you're putting your hands in the pocket, your thumb can hang out here, and this will go all the way across and fit your whole hand. So do your best and keep adding your rows, adding a stitch on each row, on each side. And remember, if you're doing this for a cardigan or something that has an opening, you're going to do 2 separate pockets. So you're basically going to do everything by half. You're only going to make it the width of half your hand. This width will stay the same, but you will stop at this end and you won't increase on this side. You just increase on this side and go down. And then when you make the other pocket, you just do the mirror image of this. Luckily, the knit stitch is the same on both sides. So you could basically make the same thing and it will look identical. You could put them on both sides and it won't look strange. It's not like some crochet stitches you can't do that. It looks like there we go. Back into the knit stitch. I almost started doing regular crochet. So keep doing that, and it will naturally curve out and get wider. And you have to remember to fit, the way you want to fit it is your thumb will go over this part, and this part will curl over your hand. And then give yourself like an inch or two so that you have the room. And then you need to make it as long as it will take to put your hand, so the tip of your fingers. So you want to make this increase, and then once you've increased enough, then go straight back and forth until it's long enough to fit your hand this way. So you have to be able to comfortably move your hand around in these pockets. Kangaroo pockets are naturally large. They're not small pockets. Okay, so I will meet you back when we have this long enough for my hand to fit underneath. I'll meet you back. Okay, welcome back. So now we've got the curve that goes over the hand, and I always use my thumb as the, because you can put your thumb in there, but I often just have my thumb sticking out. So now we're at the end, and we're like this. We finish the last one, and we're not going to extend it anymore. So no more chain on the end there. So we have to go up to this end right here. Okay, and then there's the next one right there. Go through. Go through. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to do the knit stitch. I'm just practicing because I'm going to make something with the knit stitch. I was doing it in Tunisian, and I decided to change my mind and go into this. I've made washcloths with this stitch before. It's really good for washcloth because, hello Evan. Evan, what you doing? What you doing? Want to sit down? You're a pretty boy. Yes, you are. You're so pretty. Yeah. Yeah. What a pretty kitty. Oh, you're sweet. You're purring. You're a pretty boy. Yeah, you gained some weight back. Yeah. I'm waiting for the vet to tell us what his latest blood work is. Hopefully everything is going better. If not, we may have to go to a specialist. But anyway, you see that? That's going to be your next ending right here, where this loop on the side. Okay? So you're not going to extend it out anymore. So then you want to continue to go, so here's where the thumb is. This is where it goes across your hand. You want to cover the tips of your fingers all the way down. That's how long you continue to go. I will meet you back. Okay, so this is the final shape. I've run out of yarn. I could have added a couple more rows if I wanted to, because as if I was wearing this, I put my hand in there, you can still see there's a little bit of space because of my fingernails to make this a comfortable pocket to put my hand straight down. And I put a couple more rows, and then when you sew it up, you sew up this side, the bottom, this side, and then you sew the top. And you leave this for the pocket. So this is a kangaroo pocket. It also looks like underwear. So I guess if you were to measure your waist and then put that in half and measure the circumference of your leg and do half of that, I guess you could make a pair of panties. Just make this as wide as your thigh gap is. And yeah, you could make a pair of panties out of this, I guess, and using this same technique. If you wanted to do like the bikini, um, everybody always seems to be putting up on Instagram, but I'm making a pocket, so this is where my hands go, like that. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you wanted to try this in a different stitch, let me know how it worked out. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I try to give you some content every week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But please crochet your way today, because it's the only time we have. Take care, and I'll see you next time.